Hello, Scrappy friends. Welcome back. I'm so excited today because today I want to share with you another layout share. This time I've used the Grateful Harvest collection and I've done another cutting guide for both the quick and cute and the playful and polished. So I'm just dying to show you. What I have here on top is a process video I've already done using this collection. I'll link this at the end of this video. But let me put this aside, get them in order. We'll start with the quick and cute, and then we'll move into the playful and polished. So let me get things organized and I'll be right back. And I have 5 layouts in each one, so a total of 10 layouts to share with you today. As a reminder, as I go through these, when it comes to the quick and cute, I try to use minimal supplies, bringing in only some tools, generic tools that we can use over and over again. So and also that you can easily modify them or change them for other things that you might have in your stash already. For the quick and cute, I stay with 1 designer paper pack and then 1 pack of stickers. Sometimes I swap out embellishments, but this time I went with the stickers. And I also try to keep it to some simple cuts and things that we can kind of just manipulate the paper using our 12-inch trimmer and the trimmer blades. So here we go with the layout number 1. I have a big block over here with this beautiful coffee paper. It's the icon piece. And then I bring in some other supporting colors like the yellow, the orange, and the brown. Simple. Bring in some of the border stickers to kind of add a little playful flair right here. And then what I think is really fun about this one is I brought in a long journaling area and I topped it with the tag punch. And then bringing in some finer details down here with using a fancy blade. 3 clusters, keep them small. And for layout number 2, this is the one I just showed at the beginning of the video that I have a process video for, but here it is without photos. I left a big area here for a 5x7. I like to do that every once in a while, but keep in mind, there's plenty of room here. You can swap that out for 2 4x6s, either horizontally or vertically. I think would work here great. I brought in the 3 clusters, but this time I have them in a row over here. And on the right-hand page or the second page, I have it right here in the center of the 4 pictures. Now, what I love about this side of the layout is this is a common way that I use what I like to call a photo dump, where you have these extra photos. So here's my focal photo that I want to focus on primarily, but then I have the supporting photos over here. And this arrangement using 5x4s, 1 vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. When I have that photo type, then this is a great way to show them off. You put a little embellishment right in the middle. It doesn't distract from the photos. Okay. Here's layout number 3 in the quick and cute series, and I think this one also is very playful, but it looks a lot harder than it really is. Basically, it's some strips going across the page. I have a playful page over here, and again, another type of photo dumping I like to use over here on the other side. So having the same elements running through helps it to stay very balanced. But there's also some attention to detail here if you look really closely. Here in the background, brought in a strip of cardstock. It's amazing what the cardstocks will do for your layout. And I just ran this through with another decorative trimmer blade here, and it just pops out and adds that little bit of accent that you may need. I carried the trimmer blade over here to the journaling box just to add a little bit of pop. Then I have 3 embellishment clusters. This one, I brought in my favorite little trick is bringing in banners using either the same papers you used here or scraps from the same collection. They usually always coordinate, right? So we could just bring in some scraps, but I happen to have some from the pieces I already used, so I used them. Brought in this flare here with this vertical border sticker. I thought that added just the right amount of pop to this page. So layout number 4 is a great example of how I bring in some of the generic or investment tools. right across here. This really is a generic tool. It has nothing really to do with fall. I think it just looks really great here on my page. This one is called Ribbon Wave. But again, I feel like if you only have one border cartridge or one border punch and it's not theme specific, throw it in up here and I think you'll be really impressed. I punched out one row only, tucked it under here, ran it across the whole page, snipped it, and then whatever was left over, I put on the other page. But you can see how that could be completely left out and the page would still be very beautiful and very quick to make. So I brought in a couple other tools that I think that are very generic. The custom cutting system here, again, my tag punch, you're probably going to see that in a lot of my cute and quick layouts because it's my go-to. And then you'll also notice another go-to is lined paper. I love bringing in lined paper for the quick and cute layouts because I didn't purchase the mat cards to go with this set of layouts. So the lined paper is exactly what I need for most of my journaling spots. And then again, I went with 3 clusters. I put a big cluster up here because I wanted to show off this nice big title that came with the sticker sheet. And then I have smaller clusters on the other page. Again, I have another one of those vertical pumpkin borders going down the side right there. Okay, here is the final layout, number 5 in the quick and cute set. And I have to say, this one's my favorite. It's very easy to put together, but I just love the leaf paper here in the background and then the layers on top of that. I was super happy to be able to use this nice big title that came with the sticker sheet and then just a couple of very small embellishment clusters, but yet they pack a powerful punch because I did bring in some generic tools here. Here I just brought in a scrap, and on top of that I put the circle punch and then the scallop circle punch, just kind of alternating the paper choices there. Any scraps would work well right here, and then topping it off with a little tab from our tab punch. I loved that, and I also loved bringing in another generic punch here. This is the ribbon lace border making cartridge. Again, I feel like that could easily be replaced with any other punch that you might have. It just brings in that little bit of extra detail that would help the layout to really stand out. Then at the very end, I came back through with a brown journaling pen and did some little dash marks all the way around the page that's exposed, just to kind of help soak up that white space, give our eye somewhere to stop so we know the layout is now stopping here and here. And I've just been really enjoying using my journaling pens, especially with the quick and cute layouts. It's just that little bit of fine detail. There we go. Let me clean this up and we'll get started with the Playful and Polished. Hold on. Okay, we're ready to jump into the Playful and Polished set. And before we do that, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you, if you are enjoying this video, if you just enjoy layout shares in general, please go ahead and click that like button. I'm really trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I have a little ways to go. So I'm hoping you can help me out with that by clicking that like button and possibly leaving me a comment too. That would be wonderful. So thank you for doing that. Now let's talk about layout 1 for the Playful and Polished, because this one I feel like it totally hits the mark when it comes to Playful and Polished. On one side I have this very playful page where I went with some different strips going across, and I do need to take a moment to mention that the Grateful Harvest collection came out with 2 paper packs. Creative Memories does offer a tone-on-tone pack, which is perfect to extend the life of your designer paper. And that's what I've done here. I don't use the tone-on-tone or the extra pack in the quick and cute layouts because we're trying to keep supplies to a minimum. But here I like to bring in everything that comes with the original Buy It All bundle. So you'll see that I did bring in some tone-on-tone paper. This page is very playful. It's kind of like our 2 focus photos here and some embellishment clusters. I even bring in a laser cut border down here. I feel like that just made this page pop for sure. The other page is more like a photo dump, right? I have this strip here. That's a very common strip that I use for photo dumping. And then I have this. These are really the same size, 6 inches and 6 inches. So how you divide up your area over here is really up to you. I thought it would be fun and playful to put 3-inch photos, but of course you have to have the photos that you can trim down. And so I put 4 photos going like this. A couple places I just put some pattern paper and used it as an embellishment cluster base. Here I put the journaling box, and yes, I brought in that lined paper. That's always good to have around. This spot was very small, wasn't ready to cut down a mat card, even though I'm not opposed to that, because you'll see right here I did cut down that mat card to be 3x3 to be my title. So I do try and bring in any tools that were released at the time. So that would be included in the Buy It All bundle as well, in these layouts somewhere. So you'll see here that I have this Leaf and Acorn border making cartridge up here. Love that. And I also have the wooden wagon down here. I've kind of popped that one in just randomly throughout. This layout I actually did for my VIP group during our Croptoberfest event. And I loved it. I thought it came out super great. It only uses a couple pieces of paper, and I thought I was using such a bold choice bringing in that green, because there's really not a lot of green in our icon paper. But when I added the green, I realized, like, yes, there's some green leaves here that just really popped when I added that green paper. So I'm so happy I did that. It allowed me to bring in a little bit of green in my embellishments as well. This particular set of designs, I did bring in a die cut from my stash here. But in the cutting guide, I tell you how you can change that up and do something different. Went really playful in a couple areas here. I want to point out, I dropped this photo and kind of put it at an angle. It certainly can fit up here if the angle is not your thing. I thought that added a little bit of playfulness to it. And then we also took a mat card, and this time we went vertical with it instead of keeping it horizontal. And I thought that was pretty playful as well. Layout number 3, here we go. I love this one too. I love this icon paper, but I'm gonna tell you, it was kind of challenging to use. There's not a lot of blue in the original designer paper pack, so I really kind of struggled with that a little bit at first. But I feel like I did a good job in the quick and cute if you go back and see what I did with that blue one there. But here I brought it in, and this wheat paper is actually the back side of the pie paper. So I thought that was great that I got that used. Basically, it's just 2 pieces of paper and then a cardstock frame right there as well. Other than that, this one is so easy that it maybe should have belonged in the quick and cute, but I didn't, because I brought in some other playfulness things that we don't have in the quick and cute, like I used a lot of mat cards here. So here's a mat card, here's half of a mat card, and then over here, this looks like an embellishment cluster, but that's a mat card. I did bring in a doily cutout. Again, it's the same one I just showed. Had a little fun down here in the embellishment cluster by cutting up some of the laser cut border. And this border here was actually, I make this first and then I attach it on. Not a very hard border to make, but I do have the instructions for that in the cutting guide. Ran the little pies along here to bring it to the forefront, those pies again, and have a little piece running over here to the side where I brought in a companion piece to my border over here. So remember when we used to do that, make a border and a companion piece? Well, here we go. We did it right here in the Playful and Polished layout. So I truly do like all my layouts equally. It's like your children, you love them all the same. But if I have to pick one per set, and I did in the quick and cute, so I'm going to here as well, this is probably my favorite one. I just love the dark, rich colors, the boldness of this layout. It just screams autumn, doesn't it? And it's just those dark browns, orange, and reds, and everything just helps come together and just make this an outstanding layout, if I do say so myself. But anyway, up here I brought in that leaf and acorn punch again. This time I backed the leaf with some of this yellow paper from down here. I just find that that really just helps that punch to just really pop and stand out. I brought in all 3 punches on this one. I brought in the border making cartridge here. Down here I brought in the new wooden fence. I love it. It's just a little bit of a delicate touch down here at the bottom. and I topped it with a laser cut border of those acorns. I used just one border and ran it across both sides. So I really got my use out of that laser cut border. And then down here, I brought in the little wooden wagon punch. So I love just adding that as a little pop into the clusters around all of these layouts. And then if you look closely at the clusters, you're going to see the brown twigs coming out here. And I wanted to point that out because that's the fallout from the leaves here. And I just thought that was such a great piece of fallout, and it helps to kind of add to our embellishment clusters. So why not? I actually had that on the last layout too, but forgot to mention it. So there we go. Look at your fallout from your punches and try and incorporate it back in. It kind of helps to tie everything together. You'll see I brought in a little bit more of that wheat that I cut up and kind of spread throughout the different layouts. Nice big title up there that's popped up onto some foam. And then down here, I went with the write-on strips instead of a matte card or the lined paper. There's not a lot of room left. I really want those papers to pop, and I really want my photos to pop. So I have a little bit down here, but if you wanted to say more, you could either carry it across to the other side. Okay, I have one more layout to show you, so stay tuned. This one is actually very playful as well. On the left-hand side, I took the paper and I cut it in half diagonally, flipped it over, and then welded them together. So this is the background piece. It's one piece of paper. I liked both sides. Then did some playful photo placements here. Brought in a nice big circle using the custom cutting system, a nice embellishment area. And then if you see it back behind here, I just couldn't get enough of that leaf and acorn punch. So I have it going here on some beige, and then on the other side, I have it right here on some hot fudge. Then down here, I have a matte card that I've cut down. And then on the second page, I went a little playful too. So we don't always have to photo dump on that second page. I have two photos here at a diagonal. Of course, there's room here if you wanted to straighten them out a little bit. Added some nice 4x4 photos up here and a nice area with a journaling card up here. And then for my embellishment clusters, I went 1, 2, and 3 like that. Down here, I brought in another one of those doilies, the wooden wagon, and a small little cluster up there on the journaling box, which is a very common place for me to do some embellishing. So there we go. That is all 5 layouts from the Playful and Polished set. I will have this up on the blog. You can go take a look at that. You can see these up close. I really love this collection, and I hope that you do too. And until next time, take care, everybody, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.